Ladies and gentlemen, this week's episode of NXT was a really great episode. It was a very great episode. We got Austin Theory versus Dexter Lumis to go over. We have Breezando versus Legado del Fantasma. Dakota Kai versus Zoey Starks, as well as Marcel Barcel versus Tommaso Ciampa. And we got the in-ring debut of LA Knight. And the opening segment and the main event of NXT. And Finn Balor versus Kross is seemingly confirmed for NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. We got a whole bunch of stuff to go over. And plus I got your NXT AEW news on the NXT and AEW viewership. I got some news on that and much more, folks. We're going to go over it all right here on my England Wrestling News YouTube channel. Again, we're going to go over it all right here on my Ingram Wrestling News, on my IWN Wrestling News and Gaming YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is IWN's very own Britain here live with your NXT review. This is your March the 7th, 2021 NXT review. Today is March the 18th, 2021. Now, even though all of us here in North Carolina are supposed to be getting some storms and rain, well, it looks to me like right now it is currently cloudy outside and it's actually raining and it's storming. And we're supposed to be getting possible tornadoes. But I'm going to try to get this done as fast as I can so I can stay safe here. So I can get off of this game and stay safe. But it might pass here real fast though. It might actually pass here. The storm and the rain, it might actually pass here. I'm not sure yet. But I'm hoping it does pass here real fast. So that way I can do my NXT UK review as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, man, hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you won't miss all of my Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK, and AEW Dynamite reviews that go live each and every week on the channel. Also, so you won't miss my wrestling and gaming content on my YouTube channel. And also, so you won't miss my newest content that'll be coming to the channel this year, including my WWE Battlegrounds content and Jump Force content. And also, I will be doing a video on the debuts of Topo and PyCon. Yes, I have some Dragon Ball Z Universe 2 news. Guess what, folks? Legendary DLC Pack 1 is officially out. I checked, I cut on the game, and next thing I know, I get on the game, boom, there it is right there. The Legendary Pack 1. It has the God of Destruction, Topo, and Pycon. It's, I believe. But I think when you buy it, it adds some kind of tax to your account or whatever. But when you get both, when you get the Legendary Pack set, not only will you get Legendary 1-Pack, but you will also have Legendary 2-Pack for free. And it will be out, it will be available by December the 31st, 2021, I believe. I think that's when it's going to be released, the Legendary DLC 2-Pack. So it seemingly, PlayStation has confirmed, or Bandai Namco has probably already confirmed when the next one's going to be out. So that'll probably be December the 31st, 2021. Now, as of this writing, at this point, the Legendary Pack 1 is out. It's in the PlayStation Store. All you have to do is go to PlayStation Store and get it. It's there. And I'm definitely going to be buying it when I finish this NXT review. Or when I finish both my NXT and NXT UK reviews, I'm going to buy it. Better best believe I'm buying it. Anyhow, also, not only subscribe to my YouTube channel, but also follow me on Twitter, Ingram Wrestling. Help me get up to 1,000 followers on Twitter by following me on Twitter. Do what you did. Do what you always do, like you've always done when you've subscribed to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Ingram Wrestling. I am currently on my way to 200 followers on Twitter, and I'm actually on my way to 100 followers on Twitch. So be sure you follow me on both accounts. Also, subscribe to my channel, man. Again, I gotta repeat it again so people will know. Subscribe. I'm on my way to 300 subscribers. I'm still on the road to 1,000. I got a long way to go. So thank you to everyone who keeps on continuing to support me. You know, thank you for continuing to show support for me and my channel. Keep it up, man. I really need your love and support. I really need more of your love and support. Your love and support is really helping me and my channel. And your likes on all of my live streams and videos are helping my channel grow. It's helping the channel, the live streams, the videos, and it's helping me. So, it's really great to see people subscribing to my channel. It really is. I never thought I'd surpass 200 subscribers that quick. That quick like that in the fucking instant. Bang. It just randomly happened. And those people, last time I checked, those people were actual subscribers. They're not bots, they're not fake, they're actual real subscribers. Most of them are. Most of them are real subscribers, so it's great to see that. But anyways, even though it's raining and storming out here, we're going to go ahead and get started with the review. And I'm sure you all hear that. Yes, that's the storm. That's thunder. That you probably, I'm guessing you probably hear that through the mic. Yeah, that's thunder. It is thunderstorming and raining outside. We're supposed to be getting possible tornadoes. I'm hoping not. I pray to God not. Not doing this review. I hope I won't have to end up ending this review going to take cover and all that. Please, I really don't want that. I really don't want that. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get to the review here. I'm actually going to break the news to y'all on the NXT and AEW viewership at the end of the review. So, this week's NXT opens up with the Prince. The NXT champion, Finn Balor, is in the ring looking very serious. Balor says it's St. Patrick's Day 2021, and he's still NXT champion. Balor rhymes off his conquest. Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and only one man is left. Balor says he's been waiting for Karrion Kross at Takeover, stand and deliver. His time is up, he says. And then Karrion Kross and Scarlett make their way down to the ring. Kross says this thing was never going to happen until they both settled their individual business. Now they can do it one-on-one, and people want to know who the real champion is. Kross says everybody deserves to know, but Balor says everybody thinks they're a champion until the actual champion steps in the ring. He says he wants to tell Kross something nobody has the balls to. He walks and talks like a champion, but Balor is the only champion, and he can't hang with him. So then, Kross says at Takeover, he's going to choke Balor out. Balor says he'll know what it feels like to main event a Takeover and choke. They come face to face, and Scarlett gets on the mic. She says she's seen this before. Two champions draped in gold. The whole universe watching. Everything happens for a reason. Out comes Oney, Lorcan, and Daddy Burch. They say Balor and Kross are just rambling on, but saying nothing of worth. Lorcan says Balor should be facing the best technical wrestler on the planet. Now, Pete Dunne, he should be facing the technical wrestler on the planet, Pete Dunne. They know Dunne can beat Balor, and sure as hell can beat Kross. Lorcan says Scarlett likes to talk about time. Well, it's only a matter of time until Pete Dunne is the NXT champion. Scarlett says this is an opportunity. Lorcan and Burch are both confident, impressive men, and they wouldn't want to be known as cowards. So how about they put their titles on the line against Kross and Balor? Burch gets worked up and he agrees to put the titles on the line. So the champions leave and Scarlett tells Balor it's obvious that everything happens for a reason. And he can't change fate. So in other words, he's saying he can't escape fate. Escape fate. I mean, that's true. In real life, some people can escape fate, especially if they're committing sin. You know what I'm saying? So then Dexter Lumis makes his way to the ring. We see Austin Theory backstage with a tablet in hand, and he's FaceTiming the Garganos. He asks where they are, and Johnny says this is the final part of Austin's therapy. He has to do this alone, and he has full faith in him. So then we got Dexter Lumis versus Austin Theory. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this match on last night's NXT, on this week's NXT. Let me know what you think should have been better with this match. Let me know what stipulation you would have booked for this match to be. Let me know what y'all think of Dexter Lumis. Is he doing the best work of his career to you? Or do you think Austin Theory is a better man than Dexter Lumis? What do you guys think? Leave your comments below, man. Leave your comments in the chat. Now, the match gets underway and Theory takes the fight to Lumis with punches, followed by forearms to the back. Theory tosses Lumis out of the ring and goes after him as they head to commercial break. Back live, and Theory whips Lumis into the buckles, then hits a fall-away slam for a 2 count. And Dexter's kick out goes right into the silence. Theory gets to the bottom rope to get free and immediately grabs Lumis for a body slam. Theory talks trash to Lumis, then hits a leaping knee. Theory's getting cocky and shoving Dexter around, but the Stalker counters him and hits a big spine buster. Dexter whips Theory into the corner and hits a knee followed by a bulldog. Lumis lands a back suplex and a jumping leg drop for a 2 count. Austin rolls up Theory. Or should I say, Lumis rolls up Theory for a 2 count. Then Lumis catches him with a pop-up uppercut. Lumis hits a rope assaulted suplex on Theory, then goes to the top rope and jumps, but Theory rolls out of the way. Lumis crawls toward Theory, but he doesn't get freaked out. Instead, he grabs him and hits Oshigoroshi for a near fall. Something Adam Cole uses. Something he must have got or stole from Adam Cole. Theory wants to hit a powerbomb, but Lumis breaks away and hits him with a big lariat. Lumis gets up and extends a hand to Theory, who takes it and says he knew he should have trusted him. Lumis then grabs him with the silence, but Theory escapes and lifts him up for the ATL. Lumis slides off and hits a half Nelson slam and applies the silence, causing Theory to pass out. And that was it. So that was the match there. Now, it is hard to tell what we are supposed to feel by watching this story unfold. Now, question is, should we feel bad for Theory? Yes or no? Should we, folks? Or are we supposed to be on Lumis' side here? Now, should we hope they unite against Gargano at some point? The messaging has been consistent, to say the least. The match was good and let both guys show off their athleticism. It wasn't a barn burner, but it was a good start to what is sure to be a feud that gives us a handful of matches in the coming weeks. Now, the match was good. Lumis is an interesting character, but it sometimes feels like WWE doesn't know what to do with him. Now, as for Theory, he has a upsides, but his current gimmick of being Gargano's slightly dim lackey isn't doing him any favors at all, whatsoever, period. Now, Mackenzie Mitchell is outside NXT General Manager William Regal's office for a comment on the NXT Tag Team Championship match, but he's not inside. Ciampa walks up to her and tells her she should be looking for Imperium. They won't be able to find Alexander Wolf. When the bell rings, only one of them will be standing. So we had a commercial break. Adam Cole is in the ring, and he's hot. Cole says last week, Kyle O'Reilly, I'm just joking. Kyle O'Reilly made the biggest mistake of his lifetime. I'm just trying to be hilarious here, just trying to entertain, just trying to make you laugh, just trying to make the review good, just trying to make the review make some sense. Actually, I'm trying to make the review make a whole lot more sense, a lot of sense. But anyways, Kyle O'Reilly made the biggest mistake of his life. He cost him the NXT Championship. Cole looks at the camera and talks to Kyle. Now, this is what he called him. He called him a jealous little punk and says he will never be as good as he is. Cole says he doesn't care if O'Reilly is cleared to compete, but he wants him down here right now. William Regal comes out. Oh, there's William Regal. Mackenzie was looking for him, wasn't he? Now all of a sudden he comes out. After all this time Mackenzie was looking for him, now he was in that building the whole time. And she probably didn't even know it. Regal comes out, and he isn't happy. Regal says O'Reilly won't be here because he's already injured, and last week only made it worse. O'Reilly appears. He appears on the screen. The big giant screen. And he says he found it very satisfying to see Cole lose last week. But the look of fear in his eyes when he saw him was much better. O'Reilly is amazed that Cole tried to end his career. He knows where Cole lives. He knows where he hangs out. And where he shops, and he isn't sure yet what he's going to do. But he will do something. He needs revenge and will end Adam Cole. O'Reilly disappears and Cole gets into Ringle's face and says he intends to find Kyle first. Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart backstage. So backstage they say Women's Tag Team Champions. Robert Stone appears alongside Aaliyah and Jessie Camille. They say the new champions surely need challengers, and Shotzi tells them they're on. So then we got El Legado, Fantasma versus Breezando in a 2-on-2 tag match. Now, we've seen these two go head-to-head before. Now, I don't know. I wasn't so sure if we wanted to see it twice as nice or not. Because usually when WWE, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown books the same fucking matches every week, it gets boring. Well, this one is right up there. This one is definitely right up there. So the match begins with Fandango and Raquel Mendoza. The latter runs across the ring, but Fandango sidesteps and sweeps his feet from under him. Fandango hits a flapjack and in comes Wild, but he eats an elbow. Fandango lifts and drops Mendoza on the top rope, then tags Breeze so they can hit stereo kicks to the head, and Mendoza falls off the ropes. Breezango hits a sunset flip, but Mendoza rolls through and connects with a big knee to the face. And Wild tags in and punches Breeze down. Do you guys hear that rain? Wow, it is raining like crazy out here, man. Man, they wasn't lying when they said they weren't lying when they said it was going to be storming and raining today. That's for sure. My goodness. So Wild tags in and punches Breeze down, delivers a knee to the back, then hits a running crossbody. Wild whips Breeze to the corner and runs in a lot. I couldn't tell what that was. I probably read it wrong, but I couldn't tell. Because, WWE's writing sometimes can be typical fucking complete garbage. You know what I mean? Most of the time. Especially when Bruce is writing Raw and SmackDown. His writing can be god-awful, and his ideas, him and Vince's ideas, can be god-awful. They can be absolutely terrible sometimes, a lot of times. Anyways. So Tyler looks to drag Wild under the ropes, but gets kicked off. Breeze tags Fandango, and they hit an Irish whip into a drop kick for a 2 count. So then Wild hits a jawbreaker to create some distance, then clubs the back of Fandango and talks some trash. Joaquin Wild takes a front face lock and holds Dango down for a while. Then tags Mendoza. Fandango rallies and whips Mendoza hard into the buckles, then climbs up top, but Raquel meets him there. Fandango lifts and drops Mendoza to the back and looks to jump, but Wild distracts him from the apron, allowing Raquel to hit a cartwheel enziguri. And Dango drops off the ropes to the floor as they head to the commercial break. So they return from commercial break to find Mendoza talking trash to Fandango on the floor, but Dango quickly grabs and tosses him over the barricade. Wild drags Mendoza back to the apron and tags himself in at the same time. Tyler gets a tag. Breeze comes in hot with flying forearms and knocks Mendoza off the apron. Breeze hits a drop kick to Wild, then throws an incoming Mendoza over the ropes. Breeze with an enziguri then goes to a single leg Boston Crab on Wild. Slowly, Joaquin Wild turns over, but Breeze grabs his legs and catapults him over the ropes to the floor. On the other side, Mendoza pulls Dango off the apron and into the barricade. Breeze catches Wild with a super kick and covers, but Raquel breaks the pin attempt. Breeze wants to hit an unprettier, but Wild runs him to the ropes where Mendoza tags himself in and pulls his neck down on the top rope. Fantasma then combined to hit a running heel kick and a sweep for the win. And that was it. So after the match, Santos Escobar grabs a mic and tells the announcers that Fantasma are the best tag team. He then says he keeps hearing about this Jordan Devlin guy, but he doesn't see him around. And suddenly out comes Devlin. Jordan gets into the ring and says, Santos has been running around for a year saying he's all that, but he's looking at the real champion. He didn't jump Escobar from behind. He told the whole world he would be coming here, and he didn't need stooges to protect him either. Escobar gets into the ring and tells Wild and Mendoza he's got it. Devlin says Santos has been telling everyone he's the king, but the ace is back in town. He can go ahead and throw his belt in the trash because the real champion is back. Escobar laughs and says he has redefined what it means to be a cruiserweight, and Devlin is welcome. He's made history as cruiserweight champion and proven himself time again. He says the only reason Devlin still has the title is because nobody remembered him. Escobar tells Devlin to go home to the UK and finish whatever business he has, then come back and they can settle this once and for all. At Takeover, Stand and Deliver. Devlin headbutts Santos and hits a pop-up German suplex before leaving the ring to avoid Mendoza and Wild. Now, this was fun, energetic tag team match. Even though we've already seen it twice, all four of the men involved looked great, and the lack of interference from Escobar was a refreshing change from how heel teams are usually booked. Now, Wild and Mendoza often played second fiddle to Escobar, so it was nice to see them get a win on their own for once. Now, Breeze looked especially crisp in the ring this week. He is a great technical wrestler who is often overlooked because of his comedic gimmick. He and Fandango can get just as physical as anyone else. Escobar and Devlin will have a good performance when they eventually battle for the Cruiserweight title. It will be interesting to see if WWE adds a special stipulation to that Cruiserweight Championship match. Now, so next we have McKenzie catching up with Adam Cole backstage and asked if he's concerned about what Kyle O'Reilly in the parking lot or anywhere. He meant what he said. He will end him. Commercial break. We see a video package of one of the latest NXT signing from Japan. Her name is Sairei, known as Sairi. She will be debuting soon. Remember her match with Miku Satomura? Man, that was one of the greatest Japanese singles matches I've ever seen. I think we've seen her go toe to toe with Io Shirai in the past too. Makes me wonder if Io Shirai, Miku Satomura, and Sairi are all from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Makes me question that, if they're from there or not. They may be. I don't know. But anyways, Cameron Grimes was supposed to be on the show tonight. But he tweeted that he's on vacation with some hilariously bad Photoshop of him swimming with dolphins. So then we got Zoey versus Dakota Kai with Raquel Gonzalez at ringside. Now the match gets underway and they lock up with Stark immediately forcing Kai to the corner. They struggle out of the corner and still locked up, and Kai takes Stark down. They roll around still holding on to the collar and elbow. Then back to their feet, and Kai takes a wrist lock. Kai wrenches the arm, but Stark flips out and takes a wrist lock of her own and bends Kai backwards. They bend backwards. The donut. No, I'm just joking. Kai flips up and Zoey takes a headlock. Kai shoots her off, but Stark catches her with 2 arm drags. It goes back to the wrist lock. Stark bends Kai's arm around her leg and drops a knee on it. Kai fights up and they both hit the ropes, but Stark connects with a big clothesline. Kai counters Stark and scores a 2 count. So then gets into a full mountain punch, punches her a few times. Kai slams Stark face first into the bottom turnbuckle. Then after that, she gets her in a body scissors, and then Stark rolls back to attempt a pin, and Kai kicks out. Zoey whips Kai into the buckles and hits a running elbow. She runs again, but Kai avoids it and goes to the floor. Then Stark leaps over with a crossbody. Gonzalez comes around to stare at Zoey as they head to commercial break. So, back from commercial break, back live. Kai is in control. She's slamming Starks down by the back of the head and punches her over and over for a 2 count. Both women hit stereo clotheslines and go down. They slowly get up in opposite corners and run at each other. And this time Stark hits a lariat. Then another. Then Starks lands a few shots and a running knee for a near fall. Starks runs by, but Kai drops toe holds. She hits drop toe holds. She drop toe holds her onto the middle rope. That's what I'm trying to say. And Kai goes outside and spins Stark around under the bottom rope to her in the head. Now, Kai gets on the apron, but Stark super kicks her and looks for a German suplex to no avail. Dakota runs, but Starks lifts and throws her into the ring. Then Stark hits a springboard, but Kai catches her. Once Stark goes on the springboard, Kai catches her with a super kick in midair. Stark stumbles back to the corner, and Kai hits a running knee to the face for a near fall. Kai is getting frustrated, and she looks for a roll-up, but Starks kicks out, and once she kicks out, she goes to pin. She goes for a pin of her own for 2 count. Starks hits a knee to the face, and then hits a rolling fireman's carry to Dakota Kai and goes up top, but Kai kicks her in the head. Kai drags her off the top rope and throws her up for a kick to the face and the win. And that was it. Now, Kai versus Zoey wasn't too bad. This started as a relentlessly normal match. They locked up, they traded some standard moves, and sold for each other as usual. The second half is when everything started to click. Everything started to click in everyone's minds, too. Both women used just about every trick they had up their sleeves to turn this into one of the better singles matches either competitor has had it in quite some time. Kai is always a reliable performer, so seeing her step up was no surprise. This was a breakout performance for Stark and will likely lead to her getting a lot more screen time in the coming weeks. The NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai, comes to the ring with a contract in hand. Kai gets in her face, but Io ghosts her and steps to Raquel. Io says she wants the match and slams the contract in Gonzalez's chest. Io leaves and takes Stark with her. Mackenzie has finally caught with Ringo and asked about Escobar and Devlin, but before he can answer, an official runs up. It says something has happened to Adam Cole, and Ringo rushes off. We got a commercial break. Grizzly Young Veterans cut a promo aimed at MSK. They say the stunt MSK pulled last week will be the biggest mistake of their careers. They say maybe they were just simping for Fandango, and they broke Gibbs' hand, and they won't like where things are going. Imperium comes to the ring, but as Aichner is on the apron, Tommaso Ciampa appears and hits him with a chair in the back. Ciampa tosses him over the barricade and gets into the ring to face Barcel. So we got Tommaso Ciampa. Versus Marcel Barthel with Fabian Aichner at ringside. This was a physical match between these two. We got the bell ring and Ciampa taking the fight to Barthel and beats him into the corner. Barthel hits a side headlock takeover and holds Ciampa down for quite a while. Ciampa eventually fights up, but Barthel transitions to a rare chinlock and drops elbows on his forehead. Ciampa forces him back and forearms him. So Barthel does the same in return and hits a butterfly suplex. Barthel jumps off the top rope, but Ciampa catches him with a knee. And then clotheslines him over the ropes to the apron. Ciampa wants to hit the rope hung DDT, but Barthel runs and grabs Barthel's legs. Ciampa lets go and leans through the ropes to talk trash. Barthel kicks Ciampa in the face and hangs him over the ropes before hitting a drop kick. Barthel grounds Ciampa and takes a minute to pose, which allows Ciampa to rally and hit some flying forearms. Then he knees Aichner off the apron. Ciampa knocks Barthel to the apron and hits the rope hung DDT for the win. And that was it. As soon as the match ends, the lights go out and Imperium's music hits. Walter is there. The NXT UK champion walks down the ring and takes his jacket off and gets on the apron. Ciampa stands in his face. Ciampa gets attacked by Aichner and Barcel from behind. Walter gets in and chops Ciampa in the chest. Barcel lifts him and gives him to Walter for a massive powerbomb. Imperium stands tall over Ciampa and poses. Now, we don't get to see Barcel compete in singles matches often, but it was nice to see him get a chance to show off his skills without having to give a partner equal time. This was a physical contest with a lot to like. It was a little on the short side, but they had to leave time for Walter's return, so it wasn't like this was a throwaway segment. Now, a feud between Walter and Ciampa is an interesting prospect. It would be a war we would be lucky to witness. As soon, I'm just playing, but when Ringo is outside and running up to a few police cars, Kyle O'Reilly is being forced into the back seat of a cop car. Ed Ringo finds Adam Cole handcuffed and shouting that Cole tried to run him off the rope. He tried to run him off the rope. Cole and O'Reilly shout at each other and apparently swear because it's bleeped out. LA Knight is in a locker room and he says everybody is talking about what's about to go down. He walks towards the ring and we see Branson Reed in the background sneak into the locker room behind him. Knight says what's about to happen will be history, and they used to call him a megastar, and for a damn good reason. Knight's debut was after the commercial break. So after the break, we got Knight versus Austin Gray. The bell rings, and Knight hits a right hand, then whips Gray to the ropes, and connects with a back elbow. Knight chokes Austin over the middle rope, then hits him with a running knee. Knight slingshots himself over the top rope with a shoulder tackle. Knight lifts Gray, but he slides down the back and shoves him into the ropes. Knight catches him with a snap power slam and taunts Knight. Once he taunts, Knight's about to end proceedings, but Branson Reed appears on the stage on in honor he watches on in horror, not honor, as Branson Reed puts the jacket on and flexes, ripping it to bits. Knight is furious and gets rolled up, but kicks out. Gray lands some right hands, then hits a jawbreaker and a net breaker. August. That's his name, August, not Austin. I thought it was Austin because when I saw the AU, I thought it was Austin, but it wasn't. August goes to the top rope and looks for a springboard crossbody, but Knight dodges it and goes to some ground and pound. Knight hits a knee to the face, then a head slam. He hits a head slam for the win. And that was it. Now, this was the kind of match you would expect for a new talent. Knight looked dominant and picked up a quick win. Of course, we know that. But what made this slightly different was the use of Reed. WWE doesn't always put new talent right into feuds. It lets them get a few wins under their belts before putting them into a storyline. WWE is having Drake start a feud with Reed immediately, so management must see something in him. So Raquel Gonzalez is backstage with Mackenzie, and she says EO made a mistake giving her the contract because now her title reign has an expiration date. Kai walks up and congratulates her, then says they need to settle their business. So next week they're facing EO and Stark. Raquel screws her face up and says she doesn't see the point when she can beat EO whenever she wants. Kai says they need to show people they're still the best team on NXT, and Raquel agrees. We got a commercial break. William Regal is coming through the parking lot and he's stopped for an interview. He says things are completely out of control. Regal hopes the police drop the charges for both men and they can come to the CWC because he has a proposition for them that should bring an end to this chaos. We got Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan versus the team of Kross and Balor for an NXT Tag Team Championship. Not sure why we got this, but okay. So this huge title match gets underway with Kross and Lorcan, and Oney takes a headlock. Kross shoots him off and hits a shoulder tackle, and then lands a snap back suplex. Lorcan looks afraid and he tags in Danny Burch. So once Danny Burch gets tagged in, he comes in apprehensive and they lock up and Kross slams Burch. He slams Burch down by the face. Kross hits a shoulder tackle and backs him into the corner. Burch kicks Kross, but the big man connects with a clothesline before posing and staring at Finn Balor, who claps sarcastically. So then, Kross applies a bear hug in the middle of the ring and tries to make Burch tap. Danny tries to break his grip to no avail, then punches him over and over, but Kross squeezes tighter. Burch punches again and Kross drops him, but immediately lifts and slams Burch. Kross stares down Lorcan, then grabs Burch for a suplex, but Lorcan rushes in and hits him from behind as he's going over in what appeared to be a mistake. Kross then looks to hit both men with suplexes, but Lorcan landed horribly and the referee, or Burch landed horribly and the referee halts the action until they head to commercial break. So then, we're back live. Burch isn't on the apron, and Lorcan has Balor in a submission, but the Prince fights up. Lorcan hits a sunset flip, and Balor he hits a sunset flip, and Balor rolls through to hit a drop kick to the face. Balor applies an arm submission to ground Lorcan, but he fights up and slams Finn into the buckles and connects with some European uppercuts and a back elbow. Lorcan backs Balor into his corner and stomps him down, but Danny Burch isn't there to tag. Lorcan hits a suplex for a 2 count, then applies a modified choking wing. We see Danny Burch getting treatment on the floor and the doctors working on his shoulder. Lorcan kicks Balor in the face and taunts Karrion on the apron. Lorcan lands a European uppercut, then another, and taunts. Balor connects with a jawbreaker, then a Pele kick. Both men are down. Balor wants to tag Kross, but Lorcan knocks him off the apron. Balor whips Lorcan to the corner and follows up with a running chop. Then does it again and again. Balor tips Lorcan over and hits a double stomp. Then clotheslines him to the floor. Balor goes out and hits a sling blade on the floor. Then a running shotgun dropkick that sends Lorcan crashing into Scarlett. Balor didn't mean it, and he looks shocked. He removes the check on Scarlett and takes a second to send Lorcan back into the ring. Kross grabs Balor by the head and runs him into a barricade. Kross slams Balor's head to the plexiglass over and over, then puts him in the ring. Lorcan quickly hits a running European uppercut for the win, and they retain their NXT Tag Team titles. So as soon as the bell rings, Kross rushes in and hits Lorcan with 2 Doomsday Saito suplexes and kicks him from the ring. Kross hits Balor with the Doomsday suplex. It applies the rear naked choke. That's what I'm trying to say. Scarlett comes in and stops it, then helps Balor to his feet. Balor looks shocked, but Scarlett sneers and Kross levels him with a forearm to the back of the head. Scarlett places the NXT Championship on Finn's chest and tells him everything happens for a reason. Kross and Scarlett pose over Balor to end the show. Now, this was a good way to keep Kross and Balor together without forcing them into some kind of match against each other before Takeover. I mean, I still wasn't sure why we're getting it. I guess that's the reason why. Hopefully, Burch is not injured. It was just a minor issue. He and Lorcan are great as tag team champions, and it would be a shame if an injury derailed their momentum. This was a decent main event, but it was nowhere near the best thing we saw all night. That honor goes to Kai and Stark. Plain and simple, period. Now, my real thoughts on the show. My real thoughts on this week's episode of NXT. This was a very good NXT episode, but perhaps with some odd choices for how to build to stand and deliver. Now, the main event story is the main thing, with Kross and Balor challenging for the tag titles, but losing because of a misship with Scarlett ringside. Obviously, if Kross and Balor were to lose, it had to be because of something screwy. And it wasn't going to be Kross taking the loss, because they'd be a good, lame way to end his undefeated streak. But then I feel like letting Balor actually take the pin wasn't the best either. Does this mean Oney should have a title shot before Stand and Deliver now. Not that WWE always follows that convention, but that just means it's another point towards them being inconsistent. Now, I think it would have been better served if Kross annihilated Balor and Oney to the point of getting disqualified. The tag champs retain on that, technically, tenacity. They retain on that tenacity. Granted, Kross annihilated both anyway, but still. Also, the match didn't really go the way they hoped anyway. After Burch legitimately getting a stinger from the two awkward landings out of suplexes. Now, the first was probably Oney being a little late on blindsiding Kross. And then the other was because of the first, so that Burch wasn't ready to take a suplex from Kross. Hopefully Burch will be alright and he can still defend alongside Oney at TakeOver. So we got the Grizzled Young Veterans calling out MSK. So my thoughts on that, of course, they'll be having a match. MSK is still owed a tag team title match because they won the Men's Dusty Cup. But there could be a case where that opportunity is put on the line. I want to say MSK finds a way to win in this scenario, as WWE still doesn't do heels versus heels or faces versus faces, because that doesn't make sense. I mean, why would you want to do face versus face and heel versus heel? It makes no sense at all. Burch and Lorcan are definitely still heels. Speaking of that, that's why Devlin came off as a slightly more face NXT Cruiserweight Champion, pointing out how Escobar has stooges and likes attacking from behind. Devlin got a great headbutt in on Escobar. Now, I am so ready for this winner takes all to crown the one true Cruiserweight Champion. Sorry, Trent. Your hard work and heartfelt promos were just so Devlin can happen in-ring moment. Now, my thoughts on Kai versus Stark. My real thoughts on Kai versus Stark. Now, this was a good match, but naturally Kai wins as the more experienced competitor. Shirai showing up to personally deliver the title match contract was a good touch, and it was establishing a tag match for next week. Now, there's a chance Stark takes the loss. So there's a chance that Stark takes the loss there. So Gonzalez gets momentum, but she could also pull. She can also pull of a quick pin. She can pull off a quick pin on Kai, so that Gonzalez stays strong. And there is reason the team might start to crack. Meanwhile, Shotzi and Ember Moon versus Robert Stone brand was set up with a good promo segment, and the match will naturally be won by Shotzi and Ember because the Robert Stone brand is definitely not championship material just yet. Now, the third tag team champions will probably end up the ways Candice and Indy. NXT signing another great Joshi wrestler is, of course, great for NXT. The name, of course, changed enough so that WWE can have all rights to it. But it isn't so far off. Cyree becomes Cyre, so that phonically it's all the same. But the spelling is where it counts for WWE's purpose. And with this being the fourth Joshi wrestler, in other words, Japanese wrestler, that's what we mean by Joshi, Japanese. So with this being another Japanese wrestler, a Japanese female wrestler, I have to believe Io Shirai's time in NXT really is on the latter end. Shirai's sun will set, but of course, Shirai's star will rise. And if Raquel wins at TakeOver, that will be a perfect transition for Shirai to Raw or SmackDown. Preferably SmackDown, and then Shirai can start her journey to the top with Raquel being the new dominant alpha female in NXT. I think Io Shirai should go to SmackDown, even though I think Bruce and Vince are going to bury her. I don't think they're going to use. None of the Io Shirai fans want that either. And Io Shirai is one of my favorite NXT female superstars. I don't want to see her get wasted. She doesn't deserve to get wasted on TV. She really doesn't. Absolutely does not deserve that. Knowing Bruce and Vince, they're probably going to do that anyway. Because Bruce always buries NXT talent to Vince because he's sucking Vince's cock. That's what he's doing. He doesn't care about what the IWC community wants. Bruce only cares what he wants. He only cares what he and Vince wants. Not what all of us in the IWC community want. What we want out of Bruce and Vince, what we want out of WWE is them giving us better Raw and SmackDown shows every week. Instead of unprofessionally writing and producing the shows, making the shows look complete garbage. Let's be honest, they are every week, Raw and SmackDown. And we all know that NXT UK and NXT, we all know those brands are way more better than Raw and SmackDown. And they write and produce way more shows. Way more good shows than Raw and SmackDown. Even AEW writes and produces way more shows than Raw and SmackDown. My God. The reason why Raw and SmackDown are always so bad every week is because Bruce and Vince are producing and writing those shows. Because they're in it. And we have the Kevin Dunn. Freaking darn beaver with that beaver teeth. Looking like a fucking beaver. Looking like a bunny rabbit. That's what Kevin Dunn looks like. We got the goofy gooper, the fucking retard, Kevin Dunn. Anyways, the Way had far less to do tonight, but Theory versus Lumis was great. I just wish it wasn't picture in picture, as Theory was trying to get Lumis to confirm or deny what Gargano said he said. The moment of reaching out a hand was a good detail. But maybe Theory shouldn't be hugged Lumis. He shouldn't have hugged Lumis. Lumis is surely headed for a title rematch with Gargano, with this story continuing the way it is. Maybe he wins it at Stand and Deliver. Grimes' vacation photos were so goofy for being fake. Making them is probably what Grimes was actually spending his time doing. Now, Ciampa gets a good win off Barcel and gets what he wants in Walter showing up, but then gets beat up. Now, I bet Thatcher wasn't beat down by anyone, but he was perhaps convinced by Walter to stand down. Thatcher ruining with Barcel and Walter is anyone's guess anyway. But I have a feeling that I have a really, really, really kind of weird or bad feeling that it'll be Imperium versus Thatcher and Ciampa to put it to the test. Now, I like that Reed tried to cost Knight his debut match, only for it to work. Only for it to not to work. But he still cost Knight an expensive jacket. Knight versus Reed could happen next week, or it could somehow build to Stand and Deliver. But either way, their match will be big. No pun intended. Another thing that was big was that the development between Cole and Kyle O'Reilly last night. Both promos were good, especially the fact that, yes, Kyle probably doesn't know where Cole lives and his lifestyle habits, so he could easily get after Cole wherever or whenever. Outside of NXT's 2 hours, we didn't see the alleged vehicle attack, so Cole could be lying. Plus, would Kyle want to hurt Cole with his bare hands, not a car? Maybe. Possibly. 98% possible. Rangle says he has an idea that could settle things, but there are a lot of possibilities. Last man standing, I quit, maybe even unsanctioned, like they did for Ciampa versus Gargano a few years ago, as opposed to the One Final Beat cinematic. Now, I have a feeling that one thing that's solidly part of the stipulation is loser leaves NXT. That would be the perfect way for Cole to move on from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. Again, hopefully SmackDown. That's what I'm hoping too. I'm hoping he gets put to SmackDown as well. That's what I just said. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Io Shirai gets put on SmackDown too. But see, they're not. They're going to get used and buried by Bruce and Vince. By the time they get called up to the main roster, bam, they're going to get immediately wasted and used on TV. And I don't want that. I really don't. I don't want that at all. But it is definitely a perfect way for Cole to move on from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. Again, hopefully SmackDown, and make Kyle a sort of alpha in his own right. Now, I have some NXT and AEW news on the AEW and NXT viewership. Now, AEW viewership rises for St. Patrick's Day special, beating NXT, of course. As always, every week they do. Man, this Wednesday Night War really needs to stop. They need to just cut with the Wednesday Night War bullcrap and move it to Thursdays. Move NXT to Thursdays and stop with the bullcrap. Because I can't see it moving to Tuesdays. I just don't want it to move Tuesdays because I work on Tuesdays and I wouldn't want to have to review it on Wednesdays. I'd much rather review it on Fridays. Because, I would much rather review it on Thursday nights. Because that'd be a whole lot better than reviewing it on Wednesday afternoons. Because that gives me time to rest, relax, stream Call of Duty and all that bullshit. I ain't trying to fucking review something and then it'd be a waste of time. You know what I mean? I want to be able to pick the right day to review stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I think NXT should personally move to Thursdays. Plus, NXT UK comes on Thursday afternoon, so it makes sense for NXT to be Thursday nights. I think to a lot of people it don't make sense, but to me it does. To me it does. I think it makes perfect sense for NXT to move to Thursdays and not Tuesdays. WWE needs to consider moving it to Thursdays, because I really think it's going to help. NXT UK in the afternoons, NXT at Thursday nights, NXT UK Thursday afternoons, that'd be great. Can you imagine how good NXT UK on Thursday afternoons and NXT on Thursday nights would be? Could you imagine how good that'd be? That'd be fantastic. I think it makes perfect sense to have both brands on the same day. So that way they wouldn't have to worry about NXT on Wednesdays. You know what I mean? They won't have to worry about NXT on Tuesday nights. That way, they can focus, whatever. They can get breaks or whatever. Whatever they got to do. Whatever plans that some WWE talents or Vince McMahon has. That certainly gives WWE time to plan the next pay-per-view or next matches for next week or some shit. But anyways, news on the AEW NXT viewership. Again, AEW Dynamite viewership rises for St. Patrick's Day special, beating NXT. AEW brought Big Show that they pre-taped and capped off with a super hyped, unsanctioned match. WWE NXT did the best that they could do with a COVID-19 outbreak. How did the viewership turn out, folks? Well, Showbuzz Daily reports that AEW Dynamite brought in 768,000 viewers, and WWE NXT garnered 597,000 viewers. Last week, AEW Dynamite pulled in 743,000 viewers against NXT, which drew in 691,000 viewers. Now, that is a big drop for AEW from last week, but NXT was about the same. The week prior saw AEW Dynamite bring in 934,000 viewers, with WWE NXT earning 692,000 overnight viewers. That was AEW's best viewership so far in 2021. Last week saw 831,000 overnight viewers for AEW Dynamite, while WWE NXT garnered 734,000 overnight views. The previous week saw AEW Dynamite draw 747 viewers with a .31 in the 1849 demographic. WWE NXT brought in 713,000 viewers with a .16 in the 1849 demographic. The week prior saw both shows lose viewers, but AEW Dynamite won with 741,000 viewers with a .29 in the 1849 demographic. WWE NXT brought in 558,000 with a .12 in the same coveted demographic. The previous weeks, AEW brought in 844,000 overnight viewers. They were number 3 in the night in cable with a .32 in the 1849 demographic. WWE NXT brought in 610,000 viewers with a .15 in the 1849 demographic. They ranked in at number 51 in cable. So that is your news on the AEW NXT viewership for both brands. Now, that's all the news I have for now. I think that's all the news I have. Actually, nope. I got some more news, folks. I got some more news. Hang on. Before we end the review, I got some more news. So I got some news on a recent WWE NXT COVID-19 outbreak changing takeover. Now, listen to this, folks. Got taken out. Both of them. So that explained them not being there. So, and I quote, all that was from the Wrestling Observer Radio. That's what all they said. Now, my sources, my good old friends on Twitter, Ringside News, are wishing the best for everyone involved in this situation. IWN's very own Brennan, I'm wishing everyone a full speed recovery, wishing everyone well in this situation. I know this COVID-19 pandemic is fucking crazy. People are not wearing masks. That's why people are getting sick and dying. They're not wearing masks. They need to start wearing masks. That's what happens when you don't wear masks. You get sick. That's what happens when you touch somebody and then you cover your mouth. You get sick. You get the virus. You get positive for the virus. Now, the event that started all of this was believed to have been on Thursday when they were moving rings and nobody was reportedly wearing masks. See? When you don't wear masks, you're at high risk of getting the fucking virus. People got to start wearing a mask. I mean, not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be rude or not, but you got to start wearing masks. When you're at high risk like that, you got to wear a mask, man. Seriously, it is very important to wear a mask. It really is. It really is. It's very important. Now, that's not all the news I got, folks. That's not all. I also have some news on AEW cashing in on the bloody unsanctioned women's match. I got some news on that. So, AEW knows how to turn a profit in the merchandising game. So, it also helps that they have a great partner in Pro Wrestling Tees who can put up a new design for them on the spot. Now, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa had an intense and bloody unsanctioned match on Dynamite this week. Baker already commented on this match while saying that she's still the face of the AEW Women's Division. Really, it's Thunder Rosa, in my opinion. That face was a bloody mess by the end of her Lights Out match. Now, AEW has already posted a t-shirt with Baker's bloody face on it above. You know, this gave them plenty of time to get that t-shirt ready. Now, we will have to see if AEW Women's Division can top last night's performance. Which it did. Which I think it did, in my opinion. Now, I have some news on WWE NXT Superstars missing television this week. I got some news on that. So, WWE had to change their NXT show this week in a big way. Several superstars were not at the tapings and advertised matches, like Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Scott were not present, which I mentioned already, who missed the show. So, Ringside News, my sources, my good old friends on Twitter, previously reported that Triple H was not at NXT this week. He also missed Raw on Monday. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer ran down a few more people who were not on the show this week. But there could be far more in quarantine who weren't slated to be on TV. This is what Wrestling Observer said. They said, and I quote, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae were not there. They played a clip of them from home. Tiffany Thatcher, Alexander Wolf, Leon Ruff, and Isaiah Scott were supposed to have a match, and that did not happen. Those were the names that I noticed. And I quote. So, several superstars were not at the show when they normally would be. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae filmed a segment from home. So at least they were able to be on TV. It also seemed like the Grizzled Young Veterans promo was filmed elsewhere as well. This was mentioned later on. We have to see if more positive cases pop up in the Performance Center. They are in Florida, a very dangerous place to not observe COVID-19 safety. Hopefully this is the last COVID-19 outbreak for the Black and Gold brand, and everyone is able to get better if they are sick. That's what I'm hoping too, myself. Now, there were some WWE trademarks. So WWE has been held up on a few occasions when they try to copyright someone's name. The United States Patent and Trademark Office will sometimes need writing consent. But what does that mean? So Dean Ambrose's name was rejected when WWE recently tried to lock down a former one. Now, according to Fightful, it's not that big of a deal to have a trademark rejected for this one. It is reported that the company simply partially asked the talent to sign a document. It is said that in almost every instance this goes smoothly and there aren't really issues associated with it. Now, we have not heard an update. Ringside News has not heard an update on WWE's effort to lock down Dean Ambrose's name. Jon Moxley will need to sign that document. But he's not going to be around the Thunderdome for them to personally ask. Just thought I'd give you that as well. So, and then there's one more news I have before I end this. There's one more. Ladies and gentlemen, there is some news on Andrade publicly addressing his WWE request release. Sorry about that. But there was news on Andrade requesting WWE release. I got some news on that before I end this, before I get out of here. This is for the Andrade fans. I want them to know. This is really important for the Andrade Cien Almas fans on Twitter and the IWC community to know this. Now, it says here that Andrade hasn't been used on WWE television since October last year. He asked for his release from the company recently, but the company denied that request for now. El Idolo, who did lock down that nickname with a trademark, post on Twitter to address the reports that he requested his release. He confirmed that they are true, and he doesn't know what the future holds. He also thanked the fans for their support. He said, and I quote, "The rumors are true, and I don't know what the future holds, but I want to make my dreams come true. Thank you for giving me so much support these last days." And I quote, that was from Andrade. That's what he said. So if WWE releases Andrade, then he will be just fine. He can go back to Mexico and become a headliner once again as La Sombra, another name he trademarked. AEW might be interested in him as well, but Vince McMahon still sees no use in him, which is absolutely sad. He sees no use in not only him, he sees no use in Aleister Black, and he doesn't even see no use in Keith Lee. Goes to show you that Vince and Bruce does not care about the young talent. They don't even care about how the shows and the pay-per-views look. They only care about them. They only care about themselves. They don't care about what they want. Not what everybody else in the IWC community wants. It's a shame. It's a damn fucking shame, man. It really is. Folks, that's all of the AEW NXT news I got. This is going to do it for your March 17, 2021 review as well. It's going to do it for your March 17, 2021 NXT review. That's all I have. I'm actually getting ready to get out of here this time. But hey, if you have any questions, man, if you have any questions about last night's NXT, please comment down below your question, and I will answer them. I will try to answer them as simple as I can. And also, please, if you enjoyed this review, leave a like on this video, leave a like on this live stream, leave a like on this NXT review if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. Now, I got a few announcements to make before I get out of here. Coming up next, my NXT UK review will be live. We're going to go over what went down on NXT UK. Because I don't want everybody to miss the information on what went down on NXT UK, because I wanted to know myself. So I want to know my damn self. Trust me. I really want to know what went down on NXT UK. I'm actually looking right now, trying to see. Yes, coming up next, my NXT UK review will be live, folks. So be joining me for that. I'm actually going to take a 5-6 minute break, and then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to put in the title and the description, for the NXT UK review, and put the lineup for that show. The card for that show. And then after my NXT UK review, I'm actually going to stream on Dragon Ball Z Verse 2. But first, I'm actually going to do a video on the debuts of God of Destruction, Topo, and Pycon, because I'm actually buying the Legendary Pack after my NXT UK review, so that'll be great. I want to see what these guys can actually do on this game. The Legendary 2-pack will it'll be available by December the 31st. I'm guessing that's going to be coming out before that month. I don't know when. I'm hoping it comes out in the fall or spring. I don't want to wait till fucking winter to get it. Man, do you know how many impatient people? Do you know how many people is going to be impatient waiting on that Legendary 2-pack? Shit. And I'm going to be streaming some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this Saturday. I think Friday I'm going to be streaming Dragon Ball FighterZ, continuing the Super Warrior arc. Because I haven't finished that yet. So. But thank you for joining me for my NXT review, folks. I'm going to be tweeting out a poll. I'm going to be tweeting out a poll asking how I did on it. So be prepared for that one. I will see you on my NXT UK review in about 10 to 20 minutes. Peace. I'm out of here.